for common ground and unity in this county, and continue to search your will, that you're always done, it's always done in your common grounds. Father, we love you, we thank you for loving us, we ask you to bless us, strengthen us when we go through this day, and we give you the praise for it in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Blake. All right, this time I would ask if Ms. Terry Foltz, one of the deputy clerks, is here in place of Daryl, who couldn't be here today. I'll ask Terry to call the roll, please.
Harry Weaver,
Here.
Dave Belt,
Here.
Matt Grimes,
Here.
Robert Kirby, Chad Thomas,
Here.
Travis Perryman,
Here.
Scott Bell.
All right, we do have a quorum, so we'll move on with the first item of business on our agenda, and that's our minutes from our previous meeting. Gentlemen, if you've had a chance to look through the minutes, are there any reason or any amendments to those minutes as presented or corrections? Noted. Hearing none, minutes then will be approved as presented. Our next item of business is to open a public hearing regarding a reading of two ordinances, one ordinance relating to the county administrative code, and then both the second reading of the street legal special purpose vehicles. So I would entertain a motion that we recess our regular session and open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
All right, motion by Travis to recess a regular meeting for the purposes of the public hearing, second by Matt. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, with respect to our second reading of our proposed ordinance to amend our county administrative code, does anyone here have any comments regarding our administrative code? Hearing none, we also have scheduled a second reading of a proposed ordinance for street legal special purpose vehicles. Does anyone here today have any comments or questions regarding? Yes, sir.
So if I was reading it correctly, and I may not understand it, it's with the crossing of a highway, meaning 60, from the north side, south side, or 641, the licensing of these special purpose vehicles will be quadrant pretty much. You're not going from the park to Dairy Queen. Is that understanding correctly, or am I misunderstanding how it was written? It seemed like it said we were not crossing highways.
You can cross the highway, you can't run on the highway.
You can't travel on it. Okay, and that was what I didn't understand, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? All right, hearing nothing, I will ask that our public hearing be closed and we reopen our regular meeting of the fiscal court.
Make a motion, we close our special and reopen the regular court.
All right, got a motion by Matt, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. All right, motion carries. Ordinarily, we recognize our visitors, and today we've got several, which I'm proud to see and glad you all are here. Welcome you. I will also take this opportunity. I would like to have our magistrates introduce themselves, maybe what district they represent. If they've got a few words to share, I'll ask them to do so, but because we have so many here today that aren't ordinarily here, I just want everybody to know who we are. So I'll start to my left, Travis.
Travis Perryman, representing District 5.
Chad Thomas, represent District 4.
Harry Newcomb, I'm the judge executive for Crittenden County, and proud to serve with all these gentlemen on behalf of all our citizens.
My name's Matt Grimes. I proudly represent District 2, and glad to see each and every one of you here today. This is under something that we don't wanna be here under, but, I'm glad to see each and every one of you here, and glad you can be a part of it today. Just kinda wanted to address a little bit, you know, of why different things was taken, over the last, meeting. Had to be honest with you, our detention shortfalls, had put us in a position that we don't wanna be in. This is not a decision that I wanted to make, it's not a motion I wanna make. I supported our jailer in election, and still support her today. It's just, it's a decision that we gotta make, financially. We're seeing that our roads are taking, backsliding because of, money we had to remove out of different funds to be able to support, what's going on. People in my district, as long as with other districts, we get questions, why is not our roads getting fixed? Why is, our culverts, not getting fixed? Why do we not have ample, ditch and drainage systems within our county? And, it's our responsibility as elected official to be able to help and be able to do those things and make sure we have the money. Right now, the way that we're following, there's no way that Crittenden County can survive the way that we're going. That's the reason why. It's not political. It's not, has anything to do with a person. It has to do with our county. When I stood before the people of District 2, I told them that I'd make the best decisions that I can make. I know that I'm not liked right now. This is a position you might not be liked. But I'm trying to do the best for my county, the best for our citizens. I get tired of driving down roads and my front end get knocked out.
Amen.
I mean, I'm with you. But, we've gotta have the money to be able to do that. If we keep supplementing different things, we can't fix the things that we have. So, thank you.
I'm Dave Bell, Magistrate, District 1, and I want to say that, I supported Athena during the election, told other people to vote for her. And, nothing against Athena, nothing against, the jail, but like Matt said, you can't keep going losing money. The jail will have to shut down. We'll have to still pay for the jail, but it's gonna be cheaper to pay that than have the jail. And you gotta have the inmates in there that pays the most, And that's just the hard word, that's just the way it is. But, like I say, I have nothing against the jail, the people running it. It's just money. It's just money. It's hard to do, Everybody knows money's short right now. We just can't keep going like we're going. And we appreciate everything you do. We just need to do something better.
All right, at this time, I'm going to recognize Garrett Clark with our Lake Barkley Partnership. He's our Executive Director for Lake Barkley. Garrett, do you have anything to bring before the court today?
All is well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Let's see, Abby Adamson, I saw, yeah, here you are, Abby, sorry, I lost her. She's our superintendent of our water district for the county of Crittenden and Livingston. Abby, do you have anything to bring before the court? All right, thank you for being here. Todd Perryman, our PVA, do you have anything, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Diane, do you have anything from the city?
Would like everybody to do a rain dance, maybe pray for some rain. That would be good for the county and the city.
Fortunately, forecasts look promising for next week.
Maybe a little bit. We'll take any amount we can get.
Absolutely. All right, anyone else have anything to bring before the court? I would ask that you introduce yourself and state your business. Yes, sir, Mr.
Are we gonna have a minute to talk after, we hear everything or not? Is that in your agenda? I mean, is it gonna open back up for a discussion?
Questions, I think.
Yeah, I think, I just have a few questions, and, after, but I don't wanna hear everybody before I don't wanna confront someone with something they're gonna handle.
I understand. Thank you. Anyone else?
I do, Barry.
Oh, yes, Miss Carol.
Okay. Number one, guys, when the jail was built, the county knew that it was gonna be a physical burden on us. That's why most of the counties went out of it, they didn't wanna do it. Now, my question to you is, these few years that it went above, was that money put in a line item for the jail to spend, or was it spent somewhere else?
No, every bit of money for the jail has been kept in the jail plus additional money.
So the jail itself got to spend anything above their budget?
No, within their budget. You're not
That
allowed to
was
spend.
above their budget, when it was
You're not,
running ahead, whenever it was in the black,
Yeah.
they got that money as well, is what
yes,
you're saying.
and I'll show that a little bit, Ms. Carroll, cause it'll show where the savings was in
Okay.
the jail.
And then, paper plates. Has this fiscal court paid anything for paper plates for the jail? That's on Facebook.
Okay, I don't do false book, so you'll have
I
to,
mean,
you'll have to clarify.
these figures
for
that are
me.
out there is enormous. A lot of it's not correct, and I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of it just common sense tells you. Cause when you have a contract with somebody that is furnishing your food, they're contracted for anything that goes with that. And then, did y'all make a motion to buy a dishwasher?
No,
Y'all never discussed a dishwasher being out at the jail and one having to be bought.
I don't remember, Athena, I think you brought it to our attention, what you had a dishwasher, what was out, and it's to be purchased under your budget, to my knowledge, as equipment and
But
repairs.
there's
and
another
maintenance.
thing that's on there.
Yeah.
And, is the jail paid off?
No, ma'am.
What kind of payment goes with that? Cause I assume that also comes out of the jail budget.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got those numbers in front of me if you want me to answer that.
sure, yeah, that's what I was
The
looking
principal,
for.
annual principal payment that we pay is $323,000. The interest on that principal is $165,000 that we pay.
It's one thing, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
$323,000 is the principal that we pay annually, that's what's budgeted. And the interest is $165,000 annually.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Carroll. Anyone else have anything?
I do, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I'm Justin Hallman, Nelson County Jailer. Real quick, how many of y'all have actually been down and walked through your jail? So there's 2 out of, I can't speak for the 2 out of 6 that have actually been down there.
I've been down there, just not under Athena.
So is it fair to say that you all don't know what goes on in the day-to-day operations of the facility? Is that fair? Okay. So what I'm gonna say, I've been in this business for 19 years, in jail business, worked for government, managed budgets for 19 years. My jail in Nelson County, the county has to put in $2.1 million to operate that jail. And I generate 1.1 million, so it's actually 3.4 million, to operate. My county does it happily because I provide a service to my county. Because everybody wants to see the headlines when you get a drug trafficker, a drug dealer, and everybody else off the street. Everybody loves that headline, but what comes with that is also incarcerating that person, putting them in jail, having to pay for their medical, clothing, housing, and everything. And contrary to popular belief, when COVID happened, the state released all the state inmates, about 4,000 of them. Now they're all coming back as county inmates. So there's not a Facebook marketplace or a Amazon marketplace that your jailer or me can go and just pick these inmates out. It's not for a lack of not getting them. And then plus on top of that, with the actual federal system the way it is right now, those numbers are slowly increasing. But it goes, and I'm not gonna get into a political argument with this, but it goes with administration changes, okay? Every 4 years, depending on what administration gets in there, depends on what kind of federal inmates you're gonna do and what's gonna happen on that. So, I know your county attorney, is that Mr. Frazier that was here? And the reason, I drove 2.5 hours to be here today. And the reason I drove 2.5 hours to be here today was right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And you all went into executive session on your jailer, under the KRS, under an employee.
Let me correct you, sir, we never talked about the jailer.
We talked about the jail.
We talked about the
Talked about the
jail?
jail?
No, sir.
Not once.
So where did the article come that said that you all voted to ask her to resign, or, resign? Did that happen out of executive session?
I would suggest you ask the person that wrote that article.
Okay, well, based off that article is the information I'm coming
I
to you with
understand.
that, okay?
But I'm gonna clarify you right there.
Okay.
And
well,
it
that's
was
fair.
noted in the minutes, the only thing discussed in executive session was an employee issue at the animal shelter.
Mhm.
And then we acted on that.
What's that? Okay. And again, I have respect for everybody here, we're all elected to do a job, but the voters are who pick who is in all these spots. You, me, everybody else. It's up to them to go to a ballot box. When I see somebody do a no confidence vote on an elected official, when I have seen the work that she does, and just for the simple fact that there's not inmates to physically put in there, and you're asking her to resign, I don't care if you put me, him, or anybody else, and they're all gonna be in the same problem. This is the cost of incarcerating people. And a lot of people think the magic bullets, we'll send them out to another county. Well, now, you've completely lost control of what you're spending. Every contract renewal is gonna go up, you're still gonna be responsible for medical, you're still gonna be responsible for transport. And guys, I just ask y'all to think about that, because that is a slap in the face, in my opinion, to every citizen in this county to take a vote on an elected official, not for misconduct, not for doing something illegal in office, but simply just because you can't get the inmates in there, really? All of us are in that boat.
We appreciate
And I
your
digress.
comments, thank you.
And I digress. So,
Anything else?
that's it.
Is it gonna be the same information? 'Cause
No,
we've got
I'm
big-
fixing to tell you something that
Okay,
you're not prepared for what you set yourself up for.
okay.
I'm Eric Vaughn, I'm the Simpson County Jailer. I'm also the Vice President of the Kentucky Jailers Association. First off, I wanna tell you that I run one of the top 10 jails in the state of Kentucky as far as efficiency. I will also tell you that the contribution that you are making to the jail is a quarter of what my fiscal court is contributing to the jail. A quarter.
What county you in?
Simpson. I got a $4.6 million on a 231 bed facility. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. They are also putting in 1.2 million from the court, okay? Now, as a Kentucky Jailers Association Vice President, I am gonna tell this court, and I wish y'all had this recorded. I see that you're not recording today.
No, it's recorded.
Okay, I wished your constituents, knew what a fine jailer you actually have in Athena. She is very proactive, she's always doing what she's supposed to do and learning better ways and techniques. Now, Magistrate Grimes.
Yeah.
You said, I think it was you that said, we have no choice but to shut the jail down.
I never said we had.
Was it you or?
I didn't say we had no choice, but.
Or that was your
The money
choice.
keeps going like it's going.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanna tell you this, my court looked at that also. If you do this, if you shut it down today, let's say I house your inmates. We're gonna sign a 1-year contract, that's all you're gonna get from any jail across the state. At 38, I'll tell you what, I will do it for $39 a day. That's what I'll do it for. That's cheaper than anybody's gonna quote it to you.
Most are gonna be 46.
There you go. Most of them gonna be $46 a day. Now, at the end of that year, let's say I've got 50 of your inmates. I'm gonna go up to $52. I was the cheapest bid.
All right, so we're
You're not gonna be able to afford it. If you think $300,000,
All right, I appreciate your comments, thank you, we've got a big agenda, we've got a lot to go through.
you're gonna break
You're
your
not
county,
comparing
Judge.
apples to apples, we are, no one has talked about closing jail, we got
Okay.
a $500,000.
And I have one more thing,
No, no, you don't, please sit down, you're done, okay? Thank you, we appreciate your
It's
comments.
public comment, sir.
And
It's-
it's
I just
not
have-
required, is it? It's up to
It can be
the.
limited by the judge.
Exactly, so please sit down, sir. We're gonna move
Thank you.
on.
You have a good one. I'm
Wait a
gonna sit down,
minute,
sir.
wait a minute,
No,
we've got a $500,000 jail payment.
I understand.
How can we, all right, we're not funding a $500,000, we may this year if things don't change,
That's what I was
but
getting.
we're gonna get into that here in a minute, okay?
The
Now,
only
you're
thing,
saying
the
your
only thing
county-
you're paying is the bond payment.
You're saying your county supplements your jail with $1.2 million?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ball?
Hall,
Oh, sorry,
2.4.
2.4 million. I've talked to all the other counties too, I understand that.
I have a question.
However, what's your tax assessment value in your property, what your county receives?
I don't have that in front of me, I have to look.
Okay. What's yours, sir?
I don't have mine either.
Exactly.
I
You're
have a
not
question.
comparing
I have a
apples to
question.
apples. We don't even get a $500,000 in tax revenue in this county.
Well,
You cannot compare your county to our county.
Our
You
county
can't
gives
compare
it
your
all
county
away.
to Our county,
So-
every county's different.
Yes, I
Everybody wants
understand
to
that.
say our county.
I understand.
And you're right, your county, and I'm proud for you. I'm glad your county can do that.
We
can't.
don't have a lot of money coming through. We don't in Simpson County. I'm just telling you that.
I understand.
I will-
Anyone else have anything? We gotta move on.
I want to say something to you, just 1 second, if that's okay. It won't take 2 seconds. Thank you for explaining, for bringing that up and comparing it. Just thank you. That's it.
And we're trying to keep these at a minimum if possible, and it's the same information, Mr. Hall.
I respect it, like I say, I try to be respectful
And
of you all as well.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but we've got a meeting to conduct and we need to
Understand.
get through it. So, I appreciate it. Sir, do you have anything as well?
My county is very comparable in size to this one. We have about 14,000 in my jail.
What county?
LaRue.
LaRue,
LaRue
yes,
County.
very familiar.
And my budget for my jail, $2.2 million, and I generate about 1.3.
Correct.
I think when we do the numbers, my county's contributing about 960,000. And it's a service that's necessary, and it is true. If you guys do go to that point of closing it, Mr. Vaughn's correct. It's gonna be more expensive than what you're doing now.
So, and I think I just stated that, and I don't think that's even an option that has been brought up. So, I appreciate your comments, thank you. Anyone else? All right. We'll move on then, and the thing I wanna go out of order on the agenda because the sheriff has a court date he's gotta get to, and he requested to go first, if that's okay with you. Devin?
I will be very brief, and Athena, thank you for letting me, because I've got some other things. He and I have court here shortly. Daily cash brought in through fee office was $9,455.31. Sheriff's monthly fee claim summary was $1,942.39. That's the arrest and transports, court security, total activities. All of you all have a copy of them. I don't know if you want me to give you those totals real quick, but we can run down through here. 6 collisions, 46 complaints, 30 papers successful, 7 unsuccessful, 74 paper attempts, 2 transports, 8 special details, 25 and a half training hours, 23 verbal warnings, 13 criminal citations, 12 officer assists, 54 building checks, 1 meeting with school staff, 62 vehicle inspections, 41 calls for service, 186 general policing activities, 7 traffic citations, 0 DUIs, 2 motorist assists, 7 misdemeanor arrests, 14 false
follow-up investigations, 4 felony arrests, 4 cases open, 117.25 hours bailiff in court. I believe you all also have our audit return, settlement paper that came from the auditor's office where we got a clean audit, so, that's 100% because of Ashley and the hard work that she does. She flat out took a rat's nest and cleaned it up and made it into a well-polished diamond, I can tell you. So, and the auditors have commented on that, so, unless you all have questions or anything else, I'm done.
Anybody have any questions for Evan? Thank you, Evan.
Sir, thank you.
As Evan mentioned, we do have his tax settlement audit. A copy of that should be in your packets, and, I think we just have to recognize receipt of that, right? Yeah, so just if the minutes would recognize that we acknowledge receipt of that audit. Appreciate it. All right, okay, move back up to our Trevor report, sorry. Thank you.
Good morning, all. For the introductions that need to be had, I see several people around that have not been here before. Appreciate everyone coming. My name's Athena Hayes. I am the jailer that was elected in 2023. Took office December 31st of 22 is my actual office swearing in. I've been proud to serve this community in my capacity and will continue to do so as long as the community will continue to vote me in. The September 2025 jailer's report starts off our average monthly inmate count. State inmates, we average 85.1. Federal inmates, we average 50.5. Other county weekend and work release, we average 25.8. Crittenden County and comp holds in court, we average 16.4. Our total daily average was 177.8, with our highest count being 188, our lowest count being 167. Our state housing dollars, we did 2,637 days at $35.34 a day, for a total of $93,191.58. Our federal housing dollars, we did 1,565 days at $57 a day, for a total of $89,205. Our federal transport payments was $8,980.80. Lyon County, we housed 174 days at $36 a day. Our total was $26,820. Other county housing, we housed 24 days at $40 a day for a total of $960. Weekender and work release, we did 32 days at $40 a day for a total of $1,280. The total housing of all housing and transport was $220,437.38. The number of days for our county inmates, as I said, was 16.4 inmates at $40 a day was $20,320. Does anyone have any questions about the jailer's report for August totals?
Any questions?
Any other questions?
So, on your federal inmates, you were 59, which is.
We were.
What was your budget for that?
The total number, I think we started off at 70. Perry, I will go ahead and forward this to you. for answer of the reason that our numbers did change some on the federal. Back in April, this reads from back to front, the emails are printed from back to front. April 30th, I actually emailed our director of USMS, Mr. Chris Withers, and questioned him of why in April that they took 20 inmates from our facility to move closer to Nashville. I assured him that we'd already set our budget at that time, and it had been holding 40 inmates for them on a very regular basis. He responded that, he understood, and thanked me very much for the email. He said, I understand that everyone is encountering lower inmate population. Kentucky seems to be especially hard hit with the deficit in state inmates. Our population as well has been the lowest that we've seen in over a decade. Our office has always enjoyed a tremendous working relationship with you and Crittenden County in the 5 years that I've been here. Unfortunately, we are at a budget crunch in the federal government, which I've not seen before. We're being tasked with making any savings that we can, sometimes at the micro level to reduce costs. While there is only a limited number of items I can truly account for, inmate housing location is one of them. The matter has been looked at from several aspects, from distance to Nashville to IGA rates, as well as the impact should hospitalization occur, of how Nashville would cover these, as well as other factors. We no longer house at Henderson, Laurel, or Morgan County, Alabama due to these factors. I thank him for responding. I said I understand that you're facing budgeting and hard decisions that must be made. In the future, I hope we see things better for all of us. As always, we're happy to take inmates for you, and we'll absolutely step up when you ask us to. I emailed him again for permission to forward this to you, because you do not forward stuff from the U.S. Marshal without their express permission. He granted me permission because I told him about the action that was taken from last month. His response is on the front of this. You're welcome to read it, share it however you see fit. But he assures us that we're not geographically advantageous to Nashville. He said, I could probably phrase that differently, but I believe it's important, given what you're facing, to place reasons for the transfers where they belong, and not to leave anything open to interpretation. I'll let you read through the rest of it if you choose to, but basically, the only reason that we're holding the inmates from Nashville that we're holding now is because of the strong relationship that we've built with them. I mean, I can't change the number of inmates that they have and that they're gonna allow. And I believe you received a copy yesterday of our jail inspection that just occurred for September 9th. It was sent yesterday evening. I was written up again for overpopulation. In the 133 bed facility portion that we have, we had 190 inmates. Population is not the problem. Expenses are the problem.
So since you, brought up the jail report, and I brought a copy just in case you did address that. So, as I was looking through, and I saw where you corrected them on
The number of
some
staff.
staffing numbers,
Yes.
I think.
He mistakenly put down that we had 34 female custody staff there. We do not. We have 34 total custody staff there, including myself. We have 9 that are non-custody. Only 4 of those are admin people that we actually pay for. The rest are contract. We have to list our contract employees who are paid for through the contracts, not through our payroll.
Right, so that's, of course, the first report I've got here is my packet, is the RCC Center, and we've got 29 inmates, 39 beds. And I know we talked about the state inmate issue, get that. The question I had on the inmate count of 590, is this, I'll show you what I'm looking at. This column that says number of inmates, is that where they're getting their total?
He goes through this an actual total bed count in the facility. It's broke down by the cells there. He has to report how many are overpopulated.
Okay, and so number of beds is 10 in each cell, so
Right.
you've got 12 inmates in that cell.
Yes.
You're overpopulated too,
Overpopulated,
right?
yes.
Okay, so this number of inmates column reflects the true number of inmates per cell, correct?
Let me look at it, I can see. I think that is actually. Yes, the female
And-
temp hold cell, that is our female holding cell. The 225 cell is our medical observation cell. The male temp hold is actually the male holding cell. Those don't have beds, they're not allotted beds.
Okay.
The isolation units, they are one-person dorms. We had 5 isolation units empty that particular day, and we did not have anybody in 225 when he walked in.
Okay.
Detox, we were actually given a waiver, because 413, we actually converted from what was a temporary holding isolation unit called the drum tank, basically. They gave us a waiver to house our female working police inmates in there to keep them away from the female population at general, cut down on contraband and things that happen with that. There are 10 people located in that particular cell that we were given a waiver for. So technically, they're not gonna give us that bed count, but they gave us a waiver to use the additional bedding in that particular spot.
Okay.
Medium security, 111, I'm not sure what he even has that on there, we don't have a cell 111. Dorm 110, 12, 15. Those are the vegetables, is what he means medium security by. That's the vegetable door numbers. So, every one of those cells is over by 1 up to 3.
2, 3.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
and statutorily, we get written up
Right.
for being overpopulated, which we've been written up every single inspection that I've had for
right,
overpopulation.
and to be written up, basically, you just respond to the write-up, like you're doing the best you possibly can with what you have or whatever you.
Yes, but
you
they
know.
do expect action to be taken to try to keep the inmate population as close to the number of allotted beds as possible.
And is it common for jails in the state of Kentucky to be overpopulated?
It depends on the year. Actually, right now, there's many jails that are well underpopulated. It's not uncommon to be overpopulated, especially in counties that have a bed count that don't actually meet the requirements that they have for their own county inmates. Such as Graves County had a 60-bed jail. They average 200 county inmates.
Yeah.
They're always gonna be overpopulated. Bell County, same way.
Yeah.
I mean, state can't do anything with our county inmates to move them,
And, yeah,
but the
and
state,
they don't close the jail for being overpopulated or,
not typically, but they will move inmates away
right,
to go to jails that need inmates.
understand. So, back to this number of inmates column, that is the true count the day
That's
he
the
was in
day he
here?
was there, yes,
Okay, so
and that's an unannounced inspection, we
Where-
have no idea it was him.
where he shows 190 inmates, whenever I totaled up those columns, I come up to 158.
I don't,
Have you totaled those columns?
I have
up?
not gone through and totaled those columns, we got that at, what, yesterday
Yeah,
at
yesterday.
3:40? Yeah,
You care to
I don't
review
think so,
that?
no, absolutely,
Make sure my math is correct, because
I don't have a calculator on me here. I
it's
did
funky,
point, I
because
did
you'll have
point
to
that, I
keep
did
it
point out
push.
the, I
Yeah.
did actually point out the fact that he had
On the
missed on
staff.
the staff, so, I mean, we may be addressing that amendment to the inspection as well. I came up with 151, so either way, it's still well over the 133 population that it is.
Yeah, but well less than 190 you reported.
Well,
So,
then we need to email, you might wanna email him back and let him know that, because I emailed him over the staff this type as well.
all right, I mean, I didn't know if that was something that I could take care of, or if that had to come from you, so,
I can point it out, that's not an issue.
okay, all right.
female staff members.
Yeah, I
We
know,
don't,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Okay,
as we all know, government can always make mistakes. Gotta admit.
definitely, definitely, okay. All right.
I do wanna address Mr. Belt's comment though about, you know, it may just be cheaper to close the jail. On average, our 2023 average county inmate population was 14.3. Our 2024 average population was 19.2. Our 2025 average population was 18.7. So I did a quick crunch, just based on what we charge to house our county inmates, which is $40 a day, which is honestly well less than what it actually costs to house an inmate. For 18 inmates, that's $262,800 for an annual, rate just to house them. We are, as I told y'all before, we paid $323,000 just in principal, and another $165,000 in interest. The cheapest those two numbers could possibly be is $750,800. We have medical costs, transportation costs, the staff that are involved with actually doing the transportation, the loss of our work crews, and I do wanna point out, we send out work crews every single day into the community. Last year, for the year of 2024, we logged 83,760 hours of inmate work labor. That's not counting the staff member that takes them out. At minimum wage, that's $607,260 that we save the county in labor, and the city, and any local agencies that we send those inmates to. So you'd be taking that away, plus the fact that just out of the funding through the canteen that I can do for work release detail, mowing alone, I spent over $59,000 on the county to keep the county properties up. So not only will you no longer have a jail to do that, the county's gotta pick that up. So, I mean, when you start looking at this, you're gonna be well up into the 1.3 million or up. And that's if we stay at 18 inmates. If you get up to 25, we're looking at 853,000 just in the housing and paying the building.
That's right.
So I mean, let's think dollars.
And I don't think, we've discussed, and we
It's
put
been brought up.
we put a value on the work programs every year, just so we know. And have done that throughout, since I've been judge, anyway, to look at that. And again, I think I've confirmed closing the jail, I don't think is an option. I don't know where that came from really, and Dave, I understand you made the comment, and it's something to look at, but whenever you look
It
at,
doesn't take long to
whenever you
look
look
to
at
see
a
that that doesn't
$500,000
add up.
payment, you can't, you know.
Yeah.
And if we're putting less than that in there, obviously, it's an advantage to have the jail. Whenever we start putting more than that, now it gets to be questionable. So-
What I want people to look at, and this is all absolutely public information, you can go to Department of Local Governments, go to their website. Every county has a tab. Every county has a budget tab. You can literally run off every single dime for every single department that is reported in this county. It's public knowledge. Do some homework. It's a lot of numbers to look at. But we are operating an extremely efficient jail. It's so extremely efficient. We're raising 95%, right at 95% of what revenue it takes to run this jail. I am thrilled that we have seen an increase in local law enforcement presence. When I took over, there were 4 county inmates sitting in this jail. We got up to 39 at one point. I mean, we need to clean our community up, but there is a cost associated with, and it does land on the jail's budget whenever the person gets locked up. It's unfortunate, but it is a necessity. We have excellent staff that represent us well every day. I do everything that I can to ensure that every dime that we've got is spent as well as it can be spent.
You know, and I didn't mean that, what I meant, I mean, closing it down, I mean, we ain't got the money to fix roads, which is a bad thing. You know, we're spending all the money in the jail that we've got excess. We've already went through most of
I
it.
don't feel that that is an accurate statement. I understand that the cost of everything has gone up. I don't know about any of you all. My electric bill right now doesn't look nothing like it did 3 years ago. My grocery bill darn sure don't look like it did 3 years ago. Everything is costing more. It is an unfortunate occurrence that's happening right now. And it's not just our roads, it's not just the jail, it's everywhere. This whole place is struggling.
So, and I understand, I agree with that totally, I agree with that. But in my household, I'm making a certain amount of money. And I've got to adjust my household to fit the money I make. So if you have a budget of it's $3.9 million, we have to look, if we're failing, what can we cut? Where can we cut it? So, you know, if we're going out and we're going out to movies every weekend, this and that, and we're shortfalling, well, eventually I'm gonna be bankrupt at Farmers Bank, and I'm gonna be writing cold checks. So I've gotta cut out these things to fit my budget. That's what so if we got a budget of $3.9 million, so I manage queries, I manage different things, and I had the same budget, and I look at it, and okay, I'm getting close for this month, I've gotta cut this hours, I gotta cut these different things where I could fit inside that budget. And that's the things that we're wanting to work with you on, to be able to see, how can we get these costs down? I mean, is it beneficial for employees to drive their county car?
At $0 of tax dollars spent.
I understand, but when a budget's a budget, whether it's, the canteen or whatever, it's a budget.
Y'all don't budget our canteen.
I understand that, but it still should be in your budget. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
That
so if you make
literally is not in the budget.
$2.6 million off the canteen, and we're still paying it, I mean, that money there should say, okay, well, I've gotta put it here to be able to make up the difference somewhere else.
If Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, I am paying a large portion of everything that is statutorily allowed through canteen to help balance our budget. That is already occurring. There's only certain items statutorily that you are allowed to spend canteen money on.
I'm just saying, is it beneficial for you as a county official to let your cruiser go to Callaway County Emergency?
I will be able to look into that and I can give you an exact number. I did request any of the questions that you all had to be sent to me so that I could be prepared to answer that, and I did not receive any questions from any of you all. I did offer to meet over Zoom, given the actions that was taken in the last fiscal court meeting. I don't feel comfortable coming in here and talking one-on-one without it being recorded. I mean,
So that's kind of a good, I think, transition into the budget look that we need to.
well, I do want to
need to
address
achieve.
one other question though. You did talk about our home budgets and stuff. We're 2 months into the fiscal year. And I realize there's a certain percentage that you wanna average to be able to come out at the end as close to the possible budget as we can. There's certain things that we cannot budget for because we don't know that it's gonna happen, such as a dishwasher breaking down, such as a dip in the state inmates, or a rise. I mean, who's to say they're not gonna do a drug bust and drop 25 county inmates on me? It's happening. There's some things you cannot budget for. My electric bill doesn't look the same in July as it looks in October. And there are times it's gonna balance out. I'm in nowhere near close to running out of line item budgets that I've been budgeted for at 2 months into the fiscal year.
Which is what we're gonna discuss next, is the budget, so, okay.
Does anyone else have any questions? I would be glad to answer.
Sandy, what was that website?
It is the, Kentucky Department of Local Governments is the website. I've got the exact website that I can share with you.
DLG.ky.gov.
Yes. And the budgets are all there.
DLG.ky.gov.
I'll give it to you.
Anybody
Did we get
else?
our population figures right?
I'm sorry?
Did we get the population figures right?
I do believe the jail inspector put it down wrong whenever he put it on there, but we are well over the 133 bed, even the 143 bed if you wanna add in the local, agreement that we can house the 10 females in a dorm that's not specifically designed to house inmates in.
And we're sure all these other figures are right as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
If I've stated it, I've looked it up and found it exactly.
thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Barry, do you mind if I ask just some clarifications on numbers?
Can we run through?
Yes,
this
sir.
part? Because
Yes,
we
sir.
may
It's-
answer your
this
question.
is yours.
Ken, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
If that's okay.
Absolutely. I just didn't know how long she plans on staying.
It doesn't. All this is just my notes.
I just asked that I would like to ask her before she
So-
leaves.
So, and to reiterate, Athena, I have no problem with Athena.
I don't
No
either.
one on this fiscal court that I know of has a problem with Athena. But we are responsible for the fiscal solvency of this county. We've got to be fiscally responsible with what this county has. No disrespect to Nelson County, but it doesn't matter what Nelson County has. No disrespect to Simpson County, but it doesn't matter what Simpson County has. It's what Crittenden County has.
That's right.
And it's what we have to do with it. Just to answer the question that I asked of both those jailers, jailer from Nelson County, Jailer Hall.
Yes, sir.
You received $4,611,461.03. That's too many numbers for me to even, that's over half our county budget that you receive in county property taxes. If we had that kind of revenue, boy, we'd be in high cotton. We'd be doing a whole lot of things. Might even add on to the jail for the jailer, I don't know. Probably not, but we could certainly pay for it. Simpson County, $1,906,848. You know what this county receives in property tax assessed value? $498,000. About a third.
What'd you say hers was?
2 million, you might as well say.
Okay, I'm sorry, but.
Yeah. Actually, this is about a fourth. Yeah. So nowhere,
Can I throw 3 more numbers?
nowhere even close. LaRue County,
Mine's 2 million. We received close to $2 million in property value.
okay. So, what is that, 4 times more? No. What did I just say? Yeah, 4 times more. Yours is way more than that. But anyway, so you receive about what Simpson County does.
Pretty close.
Yeah. And gentlemen, I'm not trying to degrade anything, but it's about what your county can and can't do. And it's our responsibility for the fiscal position of this county. Yes, sir.
Judge, I understand, I was not trying to get sideways with you.
Yeah.
I was just I just hope that you understood what I was trying, I wanted to say something else. Your bond payment is $300-something thousand.
Well, 500,000 with
Is it that
interest,
much?
yeah.
Okay, so, and you're contributing $300,000. That building doesn't belong
Well-
to Athena, it belongs to the county. So it should come out of the county budget, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I went through that too, and they're like, you're right.
Yeah.
So,
So-
she's really doing better than what 95% of the jailers in the state are doing. I mean, she's doing really good. And then you got the KRS 441.025, you have to fund the jail.
Yes. And we have to pay the bills.
I understand it, yes,
Yeah.
sir, I understand it, and.
So, and what happens when we don't pay the bills? Do you know?
Well,
The county is bankrupt.
I.
The state comes in and goes, oh, y'all are paying 11.4 cents per hundred?
Right.
Guess what? Next year, you're gonna pay 20.5.
I get you, Judge, I
You know?
understand that.
And that's what we're trying to keep from happening. But that's the direction we're headed right now.
Well, I'll tell you, we ran into something very similar, and we had to stop, no offense, we had to, if this offends anybody, we had to stop parks and funding this and funding that, because you're required, your number one requirement is funding the jail.
Right.
So, and it's a bad spot to be in, I understand, I wish the state of Kentucky, every county in this state was doing good.
Right.
But we're not.
Right. Chris, you sit on the park board, how much money does the county give the park? Zero.
Does the jail help out with that?
Absolutely. They mow it.
Yeah, we do ours too.
Yeah.
So That
And-
saves money, that saves.
Oh, yeah, I agree, I'm not arguing that point, but whenever you say cutting money to the parks, there is no money to cut. It's labor in kind, yes. All right, so, what'd you have, Yvette, I'm sorry? Okay. And this is just, everybody's asking, how did we get here? What happened? Okay? So I'm gonna take, and I had asked Athena to come in the week after our last court meeting, the next week and the next week to discuss budget because we've gotta fix this. And she didn't want to. I didn't feel like it's something you could do by Zoom because it's too many line items.
I did say that I would talk to
You
you.
did, that's what I just said.
And it's a simple process, it's like I'm sitting in
And
the room with you, it's just being recorded. You can look at the same papers I'm looking at.
You can't spread them out and look at everything that needs to be looked at. I'm sorry, I'm old fashioned, I guess, but, so.
It's not that I didn't offer.
All right, yeah. So, and to show, this is not political, this is not a witch hunt or anything else. So we went back to fiscal year 17, okay? And this proves, we've struggled with the jail before, this is nothing new. In fiscal year 17, we brought in $2,338,000. We spent $2,877,000. There's your bottom line loss. If you wanna look at it as profit and loss, we transferred $497,500.
You can't see it. Can you blow it up? I can't see it from here.
Well, can you see that one?
No.
Look at that one. I don't, yeah, you can't blow it up.
Do you have copies of it?
I'll just read them to you then. The next year, we cut our loss down to $254,000. The next year, and I think, when did they start housing federal inmates at the jail?
We've always housed
17?
federal inmates.
Huh?
We've always housed federal inmates since Rick Riley started the contract.
No,
Yes.
no, he didn't. We've
I've
never
heard-
had federal inmates until Robbie come in.
No, that's not true.
It is true.
We had a federal contract there. Phil Parker had federal inmates there.
No. There was no federal inmates. We can prove it, we've got the deposits. If we were housing federal inmates, we would have a federal deposit, correct?
It should all be in the budget.
Exactly.
But Rick Riley is the one who originally wrote the federal contract. I've got the federal contract at the jail if anybody cared to look.
I'm talking about receiving payments. You may have had a contract, but you
I
didn't have
don't
any
know-
inmates.
I don't know what Rick Riley did, I wasn't here hearing him, but I.
I was. Okay, we started housing federal inmates around 2017. All right. 2019, come COVID, again, they weren't transporting inmates, right? So, had a loss of 81,000. Fiscal year 21, this reflects a lot of ARPA money.
You're right.
But this ARPA money starts showing up in our savings and cash on hand. So this column shows your cash on hand July 1st of each year, the very first day of each fiscal year. This column shows the amount we transferred from general fund to the jail. In fiscal year 17, after that year, July 1 of fiscal year, well, actually July 1 of fiscal year 17, we had almost $12,000 sitting in the bank account. That year, we transferred over nearly $500,000. Fiscal year 18, cash in the bank on July 1, 25, on just under 26,000. We transferred over 317,000. Here's where we started housing federal inmates. First day of July, fiscal year 18, we had almost 90,000 in the bank. For 7 years, we didn't transfer any money to the jail.
Do they receive COVID funds?
Yes, ma'am, and I'm gonna get to that. Alright. The next year, again, COVID, coming out of COVID, the jail lost $81,000. Cash in the bank on July 1 of that year was 92,000. We didn't have to transfer money even though we had a loss because we had a beginning healthy balance. The next year, and Ms. Perry, this answers your question right here. We received ARPA money for lost wages, which provided a reflective profit at the jail of $241,000. Alright. The first day of that fiscal year, we had $11,000 cash in the bank. The next year, profit was $245,000, but we still had $253,152 in the bank because of those ARPA funds.
I knew they should have received quite a bit for COVID.
Yeah.
Because the school system did.
That's right. Fiscal year 23, we had a profit of $27,000. We maintained our bank account balance. July 1, 253,000, basically the same as July 1 and 22. Which tells me it paid for itself, didn't cost us anything. Alright, this next year, fiscal year 20, that's fiscal year 23 still. Women broke it out, just to show from January to June and from July 1 to December 31st. Alright. July 1 of fiscal year 23, as I said, 253,000, just like that total number. January 1, we had built the savings in the jail up to $365,000. So we're still putting money back on top of paying all the bills. We still didn't transfer any money over. Fiscal year 24, lost $114,135. The bank balance, first day of that fiscal year, dropped to $280,000. Fiscal year 25, we lost $408,000. Transferred in $309,700. Our bank account balance, the first day of July for fiscal year 25 was down to $166,000. So not only are we transferring money in, we're drawing down reserves quickly. This year, fiscal year 26, to date, July through August 22nd, we've already lost $89,000. Cash in the bank on the first day of July was $68,000. $100,000 reduction in cash. July, we transferred $25,000 into the jail already, first month of the year. August, we transferred $39,000 into the jail. September, so far to this day, we've transferred $85,000 into the jail. That's a total of $149,000 already transferred in this fiscal year. Average per month transfer for this year, $49,666. We budgeted a transfer. We're not even asking the jail to make money. We know we're gonna transfer money. We budgeted what we could. to transfer into the jail to keep it going, based on the jailer's budget. That amount of transfer is an average of $19,764. We're already nearly $30,000 a month over what we budgeted to be over. Now, I know months vary. That's not an issue. But I just wanted to show that. Now, these green numbers, I know y'all can't see the numbers, but you can see the green. This is where we refinanced the jail debt, because the jail debt was eating our lunch whenever I came into office. So the very first opportunity we had to refinance and reduce our interest payments, we did. This particular refinancing was on a $100,000 note that they had borrowed when they built the jail for some equipment or something like that. And then the main debt, we refinanced at this year, all in an effort to reduce interest to help us on our expenses at the jail. This,
I got a question on that.
yeah,
Back on, you're talking about the first 2 months and how the debt was so high in the average. Do you have a lot of, front-loaded costs that you pay in the first of the month that would drive that price up?
Like the medical contract, the food contract?
Yes.
so, the food contract, I don't think so, because that's a monthly deal, right? And the medical is a monthly deal. So no.
Ours is
to answer
front-loaded,
that.
that's, and
Yeah.
it drives ours
Yeah.
silly at the first
Yeah.
2 months, that's all I know.
Now, there is insurance involved there, but we're paying that. We took Keiko's option to be able to pay it by the month over six monthly periods, so it's not as front-loaded as it once was. The reason we did that is because of that. We don't have it.
I get it, I was just asking.
Yeah, and good questions. I appreciate it. All right. So this is, Jailer Hayes' budget that she submitted, for fiscal year 26, just to show you all that the numbers I'm showing are factual. And again, we worked with her on the budget to try to get it within what we could to balance, correct?
Yes.
From what it was initially submitted. It was initially submitted at $300 and some thousand deficit. We got it down to $270 some thousand deficit. And I'll show that specific number here in a minute, but I just wanted everybody to, and I'm sorry you can't see that. That's why we put it on the monitors, hoping you could see it, but we also wanted to make sure it stayed whole and not get separated. And so the bottom line.
So can this be found online anywhere? 'Cause like, I looked up, and most of the other ones I can find, but I can't find written.
No, well, now it should be on DLG's website, you can find it there.
I can find it.
Our entire budget will be on the website of DLG, that dlg.ky.gov.
Yeah.
So budgeted revenue, $3,510,933, budgeted expenses, $3,854,316. And the state of Kentucky requires your budget to be balanced. You cannot adopt an unbalanced budget. All right, so the budget committee and the fiscal court agreed. We know your expenses are gonna outweigh your revenue. This is what we're accepting to be able to transfer. That's all the money we have to be able to transfer, period. Don't really have that, but we'll make it work. That's just showing, in case somebody said, well, I bet he pulled that from somewhere. No, there's the email verification. Just like Athena did on her marshals. So this goes back to the fiscal year, actual numbers, just to show you, did not make anything up. Everything is recorded. There's the jail's end of the year revenue for fiscal year twenty-five, $3,383,000 budgeted revenue, again, on the jailer's budget, $3,794,000. So we come in 410,000 less. Expenses were $3,791,000. There's your $400,000. We transferred in 309, there was 100 in the bank account, I think, close to it, whenever the year started. So, boils down to the fact that our housing and revenue is not meeting near what it's gotta meet. So this is fiscal year 25, again, there's the total under budget on housing, $659,895. There's our transfer. If we'd have met this, or even come in a little less, we wouldn't have had to have done this.
But if they're not out there, how do you suggest you get them?
We're gonna address that in a minute. All right, this just shows, yes, we understand. Housing is, if you draw a trend line here, it's gonna look something like this. Okay, we get that. County inmates is the blue line. Athena talked about the increase in county inmates. It's pretty flat, except for right here, and I think that's what you mentioned. Other than that, if you draw a trend line on this, it's relatively flat, all the way back to 22. So we're not necessarily holding more county inmates. All right. Here's our housing budget for fiscal year 26. Again, jailer Athena budgeted federal housing $1,450,000. That's 70 inmates a day. We've got 50. State housing, inmates have 85, and I don't remember what today's number was, which was actually last month, but we've got 85, so we're right on track on state side. So obviously we're working hard to improve things, right? All right, so July and August, which is this is when the receipts hit, this is when we get paid for housing those inmates. This is actually based on June and July inmate numbers. We averaged 52 federal inmates. That's a shortfall in those 2 months of almost $63,000, $62,586. State housing for June and July, which we get paid July and August, we averaged 76 inmates. That was short 9 a day for those 2 months. We were short $18,221 of budget. Total shortfall in 2 months, $80,807. And again, I apologize, this came out smaller than it looked on my computer screen, but, so as I said earlier, we have budgeted, we know the jail's gonna have a shortfall, we accept that. So with what money we have to operate with, we agreed, but we're gonna take $237,176 out of our general fund dollars to supplement our jail operations. We don't have a problem with that. What we've got a problem with is we're already spent $149,000 of that $237,000, and we're only 2.5 months into the year. We don't have any more money, none. The county will be bankrupt next month if something does not change. And this is what's bankrupted us. You can't take road money and move to the jail. And I know a lot's been said about roads, and I get
You
it.
also can't take jail money and move to the
But,
road.
exactly. Yes. And we don't ever move money out of the jail. At all. The only money that's ever shown moving out of the jail is maybe to pay back the general fund, if we have the money to pay back the general fund. But in 2.5 years, that, to my knowledge, has not occurred at all. Yes, ma'am.
So how would a call for resignation fix any of this?
We'll get to that in a minute. So I hope you all are seeing what we're seeing, and I know Athena, we're working with her to try to get this resolved. So, corrective actions, what could be done? All right, state inmate availability. It's been said many times, every jailer in here has said, state has, they opened another facility, right? So they filled their facility, could care less about the counties, we're taking what we want.
I just want you to know I addressed that with Brandon Paul last week.
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah,
did.
I understand. Yeah, they're all hearing the earfuls. All right, so we can't get a state inmate. State inmate pays $33.19 a day, I think it is. Is that right?
35,
35.34, okay. State inmate pays $35.34 a day. Federal inmate pays $57. I'd rather have a federal inmate in that bed anyway. It's gonna bring us some more money in. It's gonna help Athena balance this budget, more so than what we've got it now. All right, cell availability, last year, we noticed that we weren't getting Missouri federal inmate checks. If you remember, Athena, I asked you about that. You said you moved them out because you were rehabbing cells and maintaining cells, and you needed an empty cell to be able to move them around.
I never moved the Fed out of there. I have no control to move federal inmates. Federal will move federal when they want to.
Okay, well, I'll go back and get the recording. It's okay. Is the cell maintenance complete now?
On the one cell that we worked on, yes.
So you've only rehabbed one cell?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And then the last time I asked you about federal inmates from Missouri, you said Missouri pulled those inmates because it was a negative impact to their budget and they could no longer house inmates here, correct?
I'll have to look at that. I don't honestly remember what I told you 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay. So what you said was the Missouri marshals told you it was a negative impact of their budget because we were too far away from the Eastern District of St. Louis to house their inmates. You ever heard of this guy, Deputy U.S. Marshal Hergenroder? Okay. What about, hang on a second here. What about Deputy U.S. Marshal, where is it here? Poland. You ever heard of him? Heard his name?
If he was copied in an email, I honestly couldn't tell you.
Well, he said he was the inmate, what is his title? I don't think I wrote it down here. Anyway, he's the person in charge of inmate housing and where to locate them or whatever. Deputy Marshal Hergenroder is his boss. I called Deputy Marshal Poland first to discuss about Missouri, availability of Missouri federal inmates. He said, that's above my pay grade, you need to talk to my supervisor. So he gave me Deputy U.S. Marshal Hergenroder. I explained to him who I was, why I was calling, the problems we were having with our jail budget. You know what the first thing he asked me was? Are you ready to start housing Missouri inmates again?
Well, why have you never reported that information to me? Because I've heard nothing of that.
You would have, had you come to talk to us.
An email couldn't tell me that.
So, if we just had 20 more federal inmates, which you said are not available, Missouri says they are.
Again, if you had forwarded me that information, I'd be glad to act on it.
Okay, I would appreciate you acting on that, moving forward.
Forwarded you.
Alright, so all that being said, there's no way, even at this point, to make up what we've already lost in housing on federal inmates. So today, I'm gonna request our fiscal court amend your budget to reflect 55 per day on housing federal inmates. That's a cut of $305,725. State inmates, we cut it to 73.
Do you feel that?
You've got 85 now. I mean, if you feel confident you can maintain that, I don't have a problem leaving that where it's at.
Cause the other was a projected budget, correct?
Yes, it's all projections. I mean, it's a plan, but you've gotta have an accurate plan. You can't have an inaccurate plan.
I get that,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, anybody who's ever been in finances
Yeah.
gets that, but your projected will usually nowhere near reflect what actually happens until it all comes together.
And most generally, we plan on the conservative side and have always shown a positive impact of the budget, for the most part. Alright, so I think I'm just asking you to come in, let's look at this, make a reasonable adjustment to this budget. We don't have any more money to transfer into the jail than what's budgeted. Every penny we have that comes into this county is already tied up on something somewhere. Last year, and I'll just be honest with you, I'm tired of being sick and carrying around a puke bag all the time, wondering if we're gonna be able to pay the bills next month. All right? There's no magic wand we can wave and point at something and bring more money into this county. And it's our responsibility to be as fiscally responsible with what we have and not impact these other folks sitting out here in a negative manner any more than we already have. We've already raised our occupational tax. We've raised our insurance tax. We've raised our property tax. And every bit of those raises are already committed to this budget. That's where the $237,000 come from. But we said, okay, we'll take that amount of loss. We can deal with that. There's nothing anywhere else to get from. And I've got to ask you to come to the table and sit down and let's work this out.
I am going to go ahead and make one statement. Every single fiscal court, I have made myself available to talk to you all, address any issues, questions that you have. And I've regularly asked any ideas that you have to help improve. I am all ears. My phone is always on. My office is always there. You are more than welcome to reach out. I've done that ever since I've been in office. And I have absolutely taken everything that you said into consideration. You are posting everything on nothing but the revenue that's brought in. The expenses has changed. I cannot change the fact that inflation has gone where it has gone. I can't negotiate the electric bill down. I can't negotiate the water bill down. We're dealing with the water crisis that has cost considerable amount in repairs and maintenance on the facility. Increased cost of having, we hand out 200 bottles of water a day to each, I'm sorry, that's wrong. We hand out up to 600 bottles of water a day whenever we're under boil water advisories or when the water quality is poor. It takes additional staff to do that. It takes additional staff to get rid of all of the waste products. There's a lot of items that are coming in on the expense that you all are not addressing.
Okay.
I
So-
will be glad to talk to you, and I've asked for questions, I asked you to email me any questions you had so that I could come in here with a formed opinion of how to answer.
Okay. So whenever we talked to you, whenever I went down and talked to you within 4 months of you being in the office and saying you've got a budget issue problem, what needs to be fixed, do you remember that conversation in your office?
Honestly, do not.
Yeah, exactly, okay. So, whenever we met with you, how many times last year over your budget? Whenever you're emailed these things every month, showing where you're short and where you're over, where you're emailed your budget at the end of last year and said, do not code any more expenses to these line items because these are totally exhausted and there's no money to transfer into them. Yet you still coded to those line items. How many conversations do you want to have? How many emails do you want? How many do you need?
I want to be where we can talk about this in a professional manner, where we can discuss these as openly and accurately as possible.
And I do too. I mean, budget committee meeting, we discussed these very facts. You cannot go over this. This is the most we have. And you agreed,
I did.
I think. Where's my budget committee? Okay. So, I don't know what else to do.
Exactly what that I had requested that you do, get the questions to me so that I can work on them and see what we can come up with. But I'm not getting all the information. You
You're
yourself
getting it
said
every
that you've
month.
gone-
You're getting it every month. Every single month, you get a detailed report on what you have spent, where it comes from, and what the cash effect to your account is. Is that accurate? I think I forward that to you all. Every time we send that to her, I forward every one of you all a copy of that, right? Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else you got to ask?
I just asked,
So
can we sit down and work on this now?
In a recorded meeting, absolutely.
I don't care if you record it or not, that's perfect. I got nothing to hide, but the numbers are the numbers. We don't have a printing press to print more money. I can't go out here and tell these people, we're gonna raise your taxes more than 4%. You all have a right to vote it down, but if you do, the state's getting ready to come in and tell you you're gonna pay probably double if we don't address this problem.
And my department's the only department that's giving you issues.
Yes,
So there's no other
So there's no
department.
other departments that are having unexpected expenses.
yes.
No other departments that are having issues.
We all have had unexpected expenses. The road department had numerous unexpected expenses last year. How many storms did we have? A tornado, floods, more floods, more floods. Every time we fixed a road, it was torn out again. We carried over $196 or $700 some dollars last year in the road fund. Yes, but we managed it and made it.
What else do you want to ask?
I mean, I hope you go back and call Missouri. That's an
Forward me the
opportunity
email
for
as I
more
read.
federal inmates. I'd rather have federal inmates than state inmates anyway. You're gonna make $20-some more a day.
Forward me the email of who you spoke to, and I'll be glad to.
I've got the phone number right here if you wanna call it, if you wanna write it down.
I would need the email forwarded, please.
I mean, I wasn't emailing with him. I picked up a phone and called because I'd rather talk to
And I
somebody.
feel like that you should be
But
able to provide that for me.
I-
Give me the information, and I'll be glad to.
Here it is. Deputy U.S.
Sir,
Marshal
I don't know what you
Perkins
want me to
Road.
put U.S. Marshal's phone number out to everybody in this building to call.
I understand.
I'll make a copy of that and take it with me and call.
But it's got to be fixed.
I'm aware of that.
And
And you
no
all feel
one, I think Matt explained his position clearly. Nobody up here wanted to go through this.
I think so.
But it's our responsibility to make sure we stay within the money that we have to operate with. And and we're about that close to not doing it.
I think someone asked earlier and you never answered. What was your plan had I said yes?
I didn't have a
What was your
plan.
if I resigned? How does that benefit the county?
I'm assuming there's an appointment made. I don't know.
I wonder who that would be.
Don't know. Last time I went through it, it was Phil Parker. After taking applications of interest. And I'm sure I would do the same thing again.
My family has always been on. I've asked everyone for suggestions. I've tried.
But we
to work
have
with every
given you
person.
those. We just confirmed we've given you those. You confirmed we've given you
The only
those.
thing that's been given, is the Missouri inmate the only thing that's been given? What is y'all's projections on cutting to get the budget down?
To be honest with you, I don't think there's $470,000 to cut. I think it's thin on the expense side. That's why I say we've got a revenue problem. We've got to meet revenue. No question. And there's opportunity to do it. Now, he said he won't have them here tomorrow because it takes a long time to get the paperwork going. But he's ready. I told him our fiscal court was ready. Our jailer obviously was not.
Your jailer wasn't informed that you talked to him.
It's not my job to talk to him, but somebody has to.
I've reached out to them.
It's your responsibility. You're the constitutionally elected jailer. But I was tired of hearing it, and whenever I heard 3 different stories about why we didn't have Missouri inmates, it finally clicked to me, maybe I better call Missouri and find out for sure what's going on.
Like I said, I'll be
And I
glad
get
to
it,
do
you don't remember what you said, that's fine.
I can't remember that.
So we will get this fixed. It would be better to fix it with your input. But by statute, we can fix it.
What statute is it?
I've got so many here.
I think it's a fair statement to say that the jail budget is a complex budget. And
Yeah.
we do have to meet many statutes and many requirements in order to run an effective, efficient jail.
No question about it.
At the end of the day, I cannot control the money that you all have to spend on everything else. I'm not the one responsible for trying to secure funding for all of that.
Here it is. What was that?
I said, I'm not the one responsible for securing the funding for everything department in this community.
That's true.
The road department.
That's
Where
true.
do the road funds come from?
The state.
Right.
And just
And the
to,
state shut down.
just
I'm
to
quite
say, I will say, for clear transparency for any and everybody, this is not just a county problem for all our counties, gentlemen. It's also a state problem. Yesterday, the governor announced the state is projecting a $305 million shortfall to their budget for fiscal year 25 or 26 that we're in. Next biennium, they're expecting a $600 million cut to the budget as what has traditionally been passed. Guess who's gonna come up on the short end of that stick, fellas? We've seen it how many times? You know, thank the Lord, and I hate it for him, but I'm thankful Evan didn't have deputies this time, or else we wouldn't have had the money to have transferred into the jail to make it solvent last year.
Now, as far as the sheriff's office, The school still reimburses from the school resource officers, correct?
Yes, ma'am. When they're working at the school,
That's correct,
when they're working on the county, that's on the county.
because previously.
But it does not
The
cover-
other didn't do this, nothing with the county, he just done the school.
But Evan, the reimbursement doesn't cover 100%, like their retirement and SSI and stuff, right? Is that correct, or have we
We
got
have
that,
it-
have we got that changed?
Payroll wise, we have it close, am I saying that right,
We are
Evan?
still losing like roughly 2 cents per hour.
Yeah.
It does not cover equipment costs.
It does not cover anything else. on
So
the
We
payroll.
took their FICA, we took their Medicare, we took their retirement, we took their insurance costs, because I had to go to the school board to explain,
Right.
previously, we were losing a lot of money on that.
Right, right.
And after breaking it down item by item to show why, if you're paying somebody $26 an hour, it was gonna be a $36 an hour cost. The school board was understanding, and they are covering the hourly, but we are still covering the equipment cost.
Right. So, I mean, I'll just close by saying, we've gotta get a budget amendment done immediately. We've been in this position before, we've turned it around, but it takes great communication. I feel like we're giving you everything we can possibly give you each month to show you where it's failing. I'm not the jailer. These guys are not the jailer. But you gotta be able to take that information and translate it into action that provides a positive result. As leaders, you gotta make hard decisions. Everybody knows that. And it may be time for some hard decisions on your part, I don't know. But I know we cannot sustain this, because at the current rate of transfers of money, we're gonna have to transfer over $700,000 to the jail this year. There's no way. None.
I would like you to email me the proposed revenue amendment, so that I can study it. I had requested that you email me this information so I could be prepared for this and never received it.
Okay. Well, and I had requested a meeting about it and didn't get it,
I
so.
offered a meeting over Zoom and you declined.
Whatever. I'm not gonna discuss all this on a Zoom meeting whenever you're trying to go back and forth between pages and trying to see what this and that. You cannot do it. You gotta be sitting there with all these pages in front of you so you can make notes and do things that need to be done. If you have the technological ability to do that, I'm proud for you. But well, all right. And that's great.
But I would like that copy so that I can look into that. I would like the copy of the email. I've requested the copies of any emails that we've had back and forth to do anything with this budget. And I've not received any of the emails forwarded to me. I requested any.
You should have all those.
I don't know that I do.
I don't know if I do anymore. I mean, I can certainly look. If I've got them, I will.
That's my simple request. I'd like that so that I can review it and look at it.
Okay.
And then we can schedule a meeting together to discuss that, but I'm not said I'm gonna have everything in recording, because it seems like my words get twisted pretty easily.
I mean, we'll go back and pull the recording, Athena, and let you listen to it.
That's fine.
Okay.
But I want the people of Crittenden County to understand that I do recognize everything that we bring to the community. I also recognize the cost that it incurs to run this jail. I'm very, very cautious about any purchases that we make, about any spending that we do. We try to cut anywhere that is at all possible, and as he said, there's not a whole lot of fluff left to cut. We have cut everywhere we can, expenses have changed. Our whole world is different than what it was 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And in Marion specifically, because we've got a water crisis that we're dealing with on top of that, with compounded problems that no other jail has had to face, no other jailer has had to face. It literally happened the week I got elected into the primary. we are all facing uncertain times, but I certainly have never acted out of any type of malice, out of any type of disconcern for the constituents of the county. I continue to try to work with every department that we have to provide as much as we can possibly provide to them.
We can get inmates, and that's been the stated problem. So,
I'll be glad to reach out.
okay. And I get it. Inmates are a tough thing to deal with. I wouldn't want your job. I wouldn't want any of y'all's job. You all do a fantastic job at what you do. It takes a special person to do it. But we've got to be fiscally responsible within our means. And if we had $4 million coming in tax revenue,
Still be broke.
you're probably right, but
True.
at this point, I'd sure feel a lot better. I wouldn't be trying to find a puke bag every time I had to
One thing.
pay a bill.
One thing on ours though is that we don't have, health department tax on ours, so out of that 4, that 1.5 goes to the health department, so in theory, it's actually less than that.
I get it.
I didn't wanna.
And that's what I say, every county's different, the way they do things. We do have a health department tax, so.
Yeah.
I think it's 3.5 cents, you know, we're
I
at
think-
11.4, so they probably bring in, I don't know, $100,000 or something, I don't know what
I
they.
think our judge said they have to write a check for about 1.5 every, cause it's based off property tax, my
Yeah.
understanding, yeah.
Yeah, and man, you're fortunate, Bardstown's got some killer property tax valuations. So, I love that town.
I appreciate it, yeah, we're getting ready to lose the bourbon barrel tax too, so.
Yeah, I know.
So that's getting.
And we fought to keep that, but.
Yeah, we tried.
All right. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Judge, we've acknowledged that the state is breaking the counties through the jails. Magistrates, I'm talking to all of you. It's happening in every single county. I told you, I talked to Randy Paul last week. He's not familiar with the jails, but after we talked, he's like, okay, we need to talk about this. With that being said, I would ask that you give benefit of the doubt for right now. We have been fighting, them taking our state inmates left and right. I will give you an example. I was looking at your numbers. I'm used to housing 220 state inmates. I'm one of the smallest counties in the state, but I got one of the biggest jails for size county, if that makes sense. I'm down, up until last week, I was down to 130 state inmates. Magistrates, y'all can figure that out. We get the same pay. We have the same expenses. Y'all can see what our county pays. We're all in a bad situation. But you're in a good spot in a bad situation. I just want you to know that. And, thank you for allowing us to speak to you and the court. We're here in support of the jailers. And what I would ask you and the magistrates, we all have associations, correct? We gotta get on board together. Our association, I'm the vice president of our association. These are board members, she's a board member. We have to get on the same page with the Magistrates Association, the Judges Association, even the Sheriff's Association, because the flip side, this sheriff right here don't wanna do our job. We're gonna have to lobby and get these things fixed and keep the state from taking our money and starving us out. But if we stand united, we can make that statement. And it takes you and you and you and you and you, sir. It takes us all.
I agree.
But if we get our associations, and let me tell you something, the jailers are willing to bond with anybody.
Yep.
We are willing to bond with anybody because we know the struggles, and we are the biggest expense to your county. Every county across the state.
And I've always said, since I was elected in 2010, started serving in 2011, the jail is the thing that can make or break any county faster than anything we've got.
Gentlemen, the jail will break you overnight, it'll break your county overnight.
And-
It can't like that.
So,
I appreciate.
so we're,
everything.
I hope you see we're working hard to try to keep that from happening. Athena, I know, we'll get there.
It's not on an island here, it's every county.
Yeah, it's-
I'm going to do the
I get it.
same thing that is happening here with budget wise.
That's why I say our associations are gonna have to bond, and we're gonna have to take a little bit more control, and we can do it if we all act as one, I'm telling you.
Well, and for us, in our situation, again, 7 years, we didn't transfer any money. I know that's not gonna happen now because costs have gone up, but we can get that gap closer
I
than
was
700 and some thousand dollars.
I was watching your trend, and our trends did the same thing,
Yeah.
we were at zero, in y'all's lowest month, we were at zero, and then it just spiked. We went from 800,000 surplus to 800 minus,
Right.
so it's all of us, Judge,
Anyway,
thank you.
yes, Miss Mona.
I'm trying to understand the numbers. You said you were inspected and that you were overpopulated by how many people?
I think we ended up deciding it was 150, what was it?
151 is what you, I came up with 153, you came up with 151,
Around
so.
150-ish inmates is what we had in the population that day. 133 beds is what we were supposed to have, 143 given the waiver for the 10-person unit. So we are still overpopulated.
So you're overpopulated, say by how many people?
Right now, it would probably be around 10 to 15-ish.
10 or 15?
And
You've
that
got to add
fluctuates
20
on
more
the
people.
Say again?
I'm trying to figure out how you can add 20 more federal inmates when you're already overpopulated.
We would have to move out state inmates to make room for them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And classification comes into play on a lot of those. We've got an RC center that we actually have 10 people to feed in. We were allotted 39 beds is what that unit holds. I think on the count, yesterday, I think we had 29 down there because that's all of the inmates that we can lay hands on because it's an RC center. They have to be in community custody or minimum custody within 24 months or release in order to be eligible to be down there. Department of Corrections is the one that actually does that classification, but there's only certain places that we can house certain inmates. Federal has to be in the maximum general population security, of which we, like I said, 133 beds is technically what we have to work with.
Just to give you a little, I have 150 beds here, and my average daily hit count is 105. My RC building on Curve, I have 52 beds over there, but I've only got 15 people in it. The rest of my jail is overpopulated because they're not in the classification, I can't put them over in that other slot, right, in that other side, so it's undermanned by several percent. And there's only certain places you put certain people.
In my jail, I got 102 beds and 147
So, with the federal inmates that you're talking about transferring in, they can't go into that place without that extra bed. So now you still have.
I would have to downsize.
I just, thinking, where are you gonna put them? You transfer them in, but are you gonna have to let someone out?
They have stricter rules, and it's a catch-22.
Yeah, and it's the gain, and so you got a $35 versus $57, so,
Plus the ones that are calling in, not to mention medical.
yeah.
Do you know the medical before
Did
they
we
get
answer your questions at all?
Yeah, I'm not,
Some of them.
I just like to match up a couple of numbers, just ask her for factual numbers, so I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's just, I'm not gonna, this is not a hard question.
Yeah.
So, in fact, we're $149,000 applied right now in 2 months. Okay,
2.5 months.
2.5 months.
And I will say, look, I don't know for sure, but we're getting ready to pay bills today, and we got another payroll coming next month, so.
Okay. And Evan only has 18.27 inmates on average for the year, right, so far?
Those are all. No, I don't, yeah, those are, yeah,
That is who?
but city and county.
Okay, city and county. So if he's willing to take those at $40 each, and that'd be 668 billable individuals at $266,742 a year. It would be cheaper to give them to him, right?
Well,
That's just salary, that's on count medical, food, and transport.
Okay, I'm just saying what they're
And he's in-
paying.
He's in Simpson County, so
Yeah.
you're talking about a
Yeah,
day.
I'm just like, I wanna make sure I'm right with my number.
I get it.
45-minute drive,
I just wanna make sure I'm right with my number.
Yeah, no, not to bust a bubble, but I doubt we'd be bringing you any county inmates. in
Yeah,
Simpson
I'm
County.
just saying, I'm just wanting to, I don't wanna say something that ain't right.
Make sure that you
So-
add in the transport cost too,
Yeah.
because we have to move those people back and forth for court, district and circuit.
And thank you for that.
multiple times.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so thank you.
And-
That's not-
All right, we're gonna move on with the rest of our meeting.
Actually, I wanna address one thing.
Yes.
We've not spent a single dime on styrofoam trays. I'm just
Okay,
gonna throw
all right.
that out there. I even went to
I will
ask
retract
myself, because I said, am I missing an invoice? 'Cause
What are
I've
we
seen
using to
nothing.
feed them on?
We are using, because the dishwasher is down right now and is in order, Perry didn't order it, I'll just throw that out there too. That we are down to using styrofoam trays, most of the time it's gonna be every other meal. That we have sink sizes, our trays are approximately 18 inches by around a foot deep. We have to sanitize those for a certain amount of time. With 200 roughly trays that we have to serve each meal, there's physically not time to sanitize them in the sink bays that we have available there in the jail. So the contract company, Trinity Food Services, opts about every other meal they will serve on the styrofoam trays that they purchase as part of their contract price. We pay a set number of set amount per tray, is what I'm trying to spit out. And that includes the paper products that goes with it. So in order for us to sanitize it, so that we have the trays ready for the next meal to safely serve it, it's every other meal they use the trays. The inmates are washing the trays. We do man the kitchen with inmate labor, so.
I'd like about 4 questions, and they're simple and won't take 2 minutes.
Sir, with your question about the $40 a day,
Yes, sir?
that does not include transport costs. That does not include the deputies that she's gonna have to have. That does not include if your inmate from Green County goes to the hospital. That doesn't count her having to send a deputy over to sit with that inmate 24 hours a day.
Okay, I mean,
That cost goes straight up. Or the medical bills.
Okay,
if Perry will be kind enough,
yep.
give me 4 questions,
All right.
and I'll leave.
you good?
2
Good.
minutes.
Minute and a half.
2 minutes, all right. So, if we're doing the dental and we're not bringing money back in, from that, ultimately, it'd be better to go to jail to get your teeth fixed. And I think I'm right on that. Perry's gonna make me move fast, so if I run out of time, I run out of time. So, I think you said you started as our jailer in 23, right? Was it not 22?
No, it's 23.
It was
Yeah.
23.
Well, elected in 22, January 1st of.
Okay.
I was born in December 31st,
Yeah.
2022.
And I probably have a little bit of information. My wife worked there for 2 years, and did this, so I'm asking questions just to understand what she has to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Terry, I do have a quick question. What year did you say we started housing federal inmates?
I think it was in 17, maybe.
Okay.
No, it's
Showing up
before
back in
that.
15.
It's before that,
It was
15,
well
yeah,
before that.
yeah, 15.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, clerk's report, Daryl's obviously not here, thank Terry for being here in his place. He had two items, one is the acknowledgement of the receipt of his, audit for 2024, so if you would just let the minutes reflect we acknowledge receipt of that audit. The second thing was acknowledgement of the receipt of the minutes from the Code of Ethics Board meeting that was held on September the 9th. And I think everybody's got a copy of those in your packet, so if you would just let the minutes reflect we acknowledge receipt of those minutes. Anybody have any questions on? Okay. All right, I will say one more thing he added in there was a quick update on the Board of Elections actions. So Board of Elections met also on September 9th to redraw precinct lines to incorporate the latest annexation of the city of Marion. It's in one of the city's only precinct. The action will be moved to housing development into the southeast Marion Precinct 2 from Shady Grove Precinct 7. Both precincts were in Magisterial District 6 and Educational District 5, so there's no impact to the voter registration in those precincts. Anybody have any questions on that? I think that's covered it all within the. Okay. All right. Other reports, road report, just real quick, we've apparently got a couple of doors at the road garage that have quit functioning. Audie's got pricing here to replace the doors. I don't know if they would have to be replaced. I haven't looked at them. Seems like every time I ever had a problem with my garage door going up, I oiled the rollers and it took off and started working again. And I don't know, Mr. Withrow owns a garage door company, maybe he can elaborate more than I can about that, but,
There's a lot to a garage door. It's way more complicated than you think it is.
Okay,
But,
well.
you know, but I would love to get a price on it.
Sounds like a sales pitch.
Yeah, I would love to get a price. And put it out there, is all I'll say.
All right.
Put it down.
So we need to, I guess, just be thinking about that over the next few weeks, figuring out what we're gonna do. But, with winter coming on, obviously, they'll need to be up and down more than they are now. But, and I think they've been doing a base failure repair on, Cecil Croft Road in Matt's district. We continue to do boom mowing, patching. I think they've got a scheduled replacement of a large cross drain on Clay Lick Road for next week. June is when that's scheduled for, so continuing to do what we have to. Chip and seal should be starting, I think, next week, maybe. Audie was supposed to let me know and confirm that, but I haven't heard back from him, but that was the last report I had.
Do you know when you're gonna get to that tile on, Cold Springs Road? I'll get with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
For some
watching
reason,
it.
I thought it was already done.
And it may be, I haven't been back down there to look.
I don't know, Travis.
Okay,
I
fine.
can't tell you for sure, I'm sorry. All right, next item is our animal shelter report. You can see the numbers, we continue to remain at capacity, sending out animals to rescue as we can. Adoptions continue to be very minimal. Last month saw three animals adopted and 2 reclaimed by the owner. 15 went to rescue, so we're rotating them as we can, but as soon as you get rid of one, 2 more come in its place. We did hire another full-time person for the animal shelter, so that gets us back to our rotations and gets our part-time people back to their regular hours instead questions on animal shelter.
Can I say something about the,
Can I have the name of the person?
Andrea Milliken.
She's
Yeah,
just an
Andrea
attendant.
Milliken. Yeah,
Oh.
she's an attendant,
just shelter
she's not,
attendant.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, she's,
can I say something about the animal shelter that Karen Nasseri's working on?
yeah.
My wife and Karen Nasseri are gonna have a concert, deal in I get together in the parking lot at Marion Company. And there's several bands, and I think they're starting to work toward the city and county, Karen is. And, on November the 2nd, I think, first or second, whatever the Saturday is. And it'll just be donations. We're actually gonna pay for everything, and the donations are all going to the animal shelter.
Well, thank you, appreciate that.
And Karen's really, heading that up,
Well, fortunately, our county has a lot of people that do a lot of good things from a volunteer standpoint that help out things like the animal shelter. The food bank, I look at Cutter back there, and they raise a lot of money every year for the food bank. So I've always said if it wasn't for the people in this community doing the things they do as volunteers, we wouldn't have near what we have. And so,
You said it was November the second.
Do what?
You said November
Ben
2nd.
Herron's gonna be there, Ben, he's gonna set up the stage, and of course, we've gotta get everything vetted through the city and county, and I don't know where Karen and my wife either want her on that. I have no clue. I just know I'm paying for it. According to my wife. And Karen's, giving the money to the animal shelter, and I think she's got a split too, some with the other animal shelter. But Karen's putting in some donations on that too.
all right, we'll move on to the Riverview Park report. Again, the bridge being out is killing our camping for the summer. But
When's it projected to be back in?
it was supposed to originally been done by October. I think they've moved that back to maybe December now. I've lost track. They keep pushing it out. Yeah, maybe November now.
As dry as it is, they ought to be working 12 hours a day.
Yeah, you would think so. It's a state project. All right. Any questions on Riverview Park? All right, we'll move on then to our financial reports. And the first item is to acknowledge the July treasurer's report for July, and that's due to a correction. There was actually a coding error on the ambulance bay rental item that has now been corrected, but that did, let's see, that would have been reflected in the general fund, correct, Yvette? So that's why you see a difference in a number there. What was it?
Want me to explain it?
Yeah, go ahead, you know exactly what it was, but.
Our software allows for budgetary items and non-budgetary items, and when this new item was added to the system, it got coded, unfortunately, as a non-budgetary item. So it was showing in all of the finances and showing in all of the bank and actual dollar amount calculations, but it did not hit the budget report. So on the original July that you received, the disbursements only reported as $253,026.18. And if you cross-reference that to the itemized list, the actual amount was $255,026.18. And the difference between a 6 and 8, I apologize, I just missed it when I was doing my reconciliations in July, and I found it when I was reconciling in August.
So, anybody have any questions about that? All right. So the next item is to acknowledge receipt of the current income and disbursement reports for August. You've got those in your packets. Anybody have any questions regarding the income and disbursement report for August? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on in to acknowledge the notice of funds transfers. And we've got the list of those there in your packet. Anybody have any questions on the notice of funds transfers? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on then to our budget appropriation transfer report. And had a chance to take a look at that. I would entertain a motion with the budget appropriation transfers be approved as presented.
Made the motion.
All right, motion by Dave, do I have a second? Second by Chad. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next item is payment of our claims, and you hopefully had a chance to look through those. Does anyone recognize a claim, what they feel like should not be paid as it's presented? Hearing none, does anybody have any questions on any of the claims? All right, claims then will be paid as presented. Next item is delayed claims. You've got a list of those in your packet this morning. Give you a chance just to look over those, but does anybody see a reason for any of the delayed claims to not be paid as presented? None. Does anybody have any questions regarding the delayed claims? Okay. Delayed claims then will be paid as presented. Moving on then to new business. First item is a second reading of ordinance amending the Crittenden County Administrative Code. An ordinance amending the Crittenden County Administrative Code, whereas prior ordinances established what is known as Crittenden County Administrative Code, and whereas the Crittenden County Fiscal Court desires to make revisions to the Administrative Code, and whereas the said Administrative Code and its revisions are earmarked as Exhibit A, being attached and incorporated by reference. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Crittenden, Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Crittenden County Fiscal Court approves the Administrative Code and the attached revisions, and same is incorporated fully herein, that any section or part of any section or any provision of this ordinance which is declared invalid by a court of appropriate jurisdiction for any reason, such declaration shall not invalidate or adversely affect the remainder of this ordinance. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced at the time having been passed, published, and recorded according to law. And with respect to the attachment of it, you got that? Yeah. So it is now the administrative code as was written with all amendments up to this point in time.
No, Perry.
Correct?
This is the administrative code, this is not the code codification.
Yes, okay, all right. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
We still gotta do.
Sorry, yeah, we still got the
do code
codification.
ordinance.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, which this
It's part of,
is part of the, yeah,
the code.
okay. Yeah, two
This,
separate
this
items.
won't be updated in the codification until next year though,
Right,
because the codification was only up through 23 or 24.
Yes, 23, 24, Daryl's can be more precise, but about that time frame is when we send it off
okay.
to be codified.
So the amending of the county administrative code
Is just getting
to
it
accept
back
it as is
updated,
written,
the,
yeah.
the administrative code, yes.
Okay.
Remember, it was adopted by an ordinance back,
Yes,
so
back, yeah, in 19, whatever.
and since I got the grant to codify the code.
Right. Too many different codes and. Anybody have any questions other than me? Yeah, I think I've been clarified on. All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance amending the motion by Matt to approve the second reading, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis, any other questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, next is second reading of ordinance 25008 relating to street legal purpose vehicles. An ordinance relating to street legal purpose, special purpose vehicles, whereas 2025 Kentucky Acts Chapter 89, hereinafter referred to as the Act, became law March 26, 2025, and allows for the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on certain highways within the Commonwealth of Kentucky, if allowed by ordinance of the local government within whose jurisdictional boundaries the highway is located. And whereas the act became effective on Friday, June 27, 2025, and codified as KRS 186.077, and whereas the Crittenden County Fiscal Court has determined that it is appropriate to allow the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on specified highways within the jurisdictional boundaries of Crittenden County in accordance with the act and this ordinance. Now therefore, be it hereby ordained by the Fiscal Court, County of Crittenden, and then goes on to add definitions. Section 2 does designate highways for our ordinance, stating street legal purpose vehicles shall be allowed to the extent permitted by the act on all highways that are located within the jurisdictional limits of Crittenden County, with the exceptions of Highway 60 and Highway 641, on any highway or portion thereof where the U.S. Department of Agriculture prohibits special purpose vehicles. Prohibitions include street legal purpose special purpose vehicles that are prohibited from traveling a distance greater than 20 miles on the highway, displaying center line pavement markings. Mini trucks shall not be operated as street legal purpose special purpose vehicles on the highway that has been constructed pursuant to federal highway program. This ordinance shall be effective upon adoption and publication. Do I have a motion to approve the second reading of this ordinance?
I would make a motion to approve the second reading of 0-25-008, the ordinance relating to street legal special purpose vehicles.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Alright. Next item is a resolution and agreement for fiscal year 2026 flex funds in the amount of $189,434. This resolution adopting and approving an execution rural secondary program agreement between the Fiscal Court and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, and accepting all roads and streets referred to therein as being part of the county road system. Be it resolved, Fiscal Court does hereby certify all roads and streets referred to in this agreement are county roads as defined. Authorizes the Judge Executive to direct and sign said agreement set forth on behalf of Fiscal Court of Crittenden County. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution as read?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve the resolution. Do I have a second? Second by Chad. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries. Next is the actual agreement for the flex funds. It is resolved to agree to this agreement entered into by the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, hereby referred to as the Department, and County Fiscal Court after referred to as the county. Whereas it would be beneficial for the traveling public to perform bituminous resurfacing with hot mix of asphalt on various roads, which shall be referred to as the project, and whereas the county has expressed its desire to perform the work before mentioned project. Now therefore in consideration of these premises of mutual covenants, parties hereby agree the department shall be responsible for providing rural secondary funding in an amount not to exceed $189,434. the reimbursement of the above mentioned project. And the project consists of, trying to find the road, y'all.
Very last page.
The project will consist of resurfacing of Chandler Farm Road from mile point, .615 to 1.215, Hebron Church Road from mile .684 to .699, Hebron Church Road from mile point 1.15 to 1.50, Hillside Drive from mile .0 to mile .153, Dunswich Road from mile .5184 to 5244, Trevine Tower Lane from mile .146 to .166, and Youth Camp Road from mile .450 to mile .1.149. We have a motion to accept and approve the agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve and accept the agreement.
Motion by Matt, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next item is to acknowledge receipt of the school board's 2025 tax rate. You've got that in your packet, so we'll just let the minutes reflect what we acknowledge receipt of their tax rate for 2025. Next item is to approve the Lower Tredewater River Floodplain Conservancy tax rate. The Lower Tredewater River Floodplain Conservancy tax rate has been established by their board, approved at 36.929 cents. And I would entertain a motion that that be approved as recommended and approved by their board.
I made a motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve it, second by Travis. Any questions or comments? And just for clarification, this is only for people that own land that runs along the Tredewater River. So, or is in the floodplain of that river. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Next item is a resolution, an agreement for the Safe Streets for All project. If you remember, I brought this up a few months ago, and we declined, I suggested we decline it because I didn't want to fool with another grant at the moment because we had too much other stuff going on. But then I was reminded that this is actually a grant that the Area Development District had applied for through the U.S. Department of Transportation. And I had already actually achieved the work toward this as part of a pilot program that I had lost track of that we did about 4 years ago. So that being said, we're gonna receive back $14,405. My memory serves right. $14,425. We're gonna get back, for work I've already done if we approve this resolution and agreement. So I think it behooves us to go ahead and, approve this. So I'll read the resolution. Whereas the Penn Area Development District has been awarded funding through the Safe Streets and Roads for All discretionary grant program to U.S. Department of Transportation to develop a safety action plan for the Penn Area Development District, including the County of Crittenden. And whereas in order to properly develop the safety action plan, direct input, review, and data collection must be performed by the County of Crittenden. And whereas the grant provides for reimbursement of activities in support of the SAP program performed by the County of Crittenden. Now therefore be it resolved, Crittenden County Fiscal Court judges hereby authorized to execute and enter into an agreement, with the Penn-Raleigh Area Development District and Safe Streets and Roads for All project. Do I have a motion, regarding this resolution?
Make a motion that we approve the resolution and agreement for safety action plan grant, Safe Streets for All.
All right. Motion carried, motion by Matt to approve the resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. It does require a roll call vote. Terry, so if you would just call the roll of the members here.
Cam Newton,
Yes, aye.
Dave Bell,
Yes.
Matt Grimes,
Yes.
Mike Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries. With respect to the agreement on the Safe Streets for All, I can read this entire agreement if you wish, but basically the purpose of the agreement is a memorandum of agreement to provide data collection, assistance, stakeholder guidance, and public involvement support by the Crittenden County Fiscal Court to the Penn-Raleigh Area Development District to assist in meeting needs for Safe Streets for All and Roads for All program. The agreement is entered into by and between the Penn-Raleigh Area Development District and Crittenden County Fiscal Court to establish an agreement for the Crittenden County Fiscal Court to provide assistance and support activities leading to the development of road safety action plans, including the identification of safety improvements for Crittenden County Fiscal Court. Safety action plans developed through this agreement will meet the requirements of the USDOT fiscal year 2022 Safe Streets and Roads for All program. Agreement is in effect from August 1st, 2023 through October 31st, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement? Second motion. All right, motion by Travis, do I have a second? Second by Chad. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, next item is a resolution authorizing electronic funds transfers for claim payments. Crittenden County Fiscal Court, whereas 25 RSHB 555, or 25, what is that, RS resolution, Bart? How they write those things, at what?
Regular session.
Regular
House bill.
session, yeah. 25 regular session House Bill 555, amended KRS 68.020 to allow the county treasurer to make approved disbursements via electronic fund transfers from authorized accounts of the county and allow electronic signature to meet the current co-signature requirement. Whereas ongoing issues with mail delivery have resulted in delays in claim payments arriving and being processed in a timely manner following disbursement, whereas the delay has caused the county to file for stop payments and reissue multiple payments over the last year, resulting in increased costs with supplies and duplicated postages. Whereas the county treasurer shall implement appropriate procedures to track and document all electronic fund transfers and similar means as a traditional warrant drawn on the county and reconciled monthly through bank statements. Now therefore be resolved, Crittenden County Fiscal Court hereby adopts this resolution as a standing order authorizing the Crittenden County Treasurer to initiate electronic fund transfers from all financial accounts held by the county for claims in which have been pre-approved by the fiscal courts, including claims permitted to be paid via standing orders as deemed appropriate by the county treasurer and approved by the judge executive. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Dave, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, so, I mean, these transfers, like the electronic transfers and stuff, will still have to be approved by us, or?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yeah.
cannot make,
They'll,
so basically,
Other-
like the claims that you approved today, by you approving the claim, now you're giving me the authority to either pay it by paper check or pay it by an electronic fund
Those
transfer.
things that we look at, I mean, with knowledge in there, I mean,
Yes.
it's just not anything you can say, well, we're gonna pay this. I mean, I'm just asking
Right.
to clarify.
no, and perfectly valid question. I was gonna actually talk about that, and of Fed has found an actual three-part voucher, just like our warrant checks are currently. Look, will list who it went to, the amount, what it was for. And the reason for this, the reason the state did it, obviously, if you remember, we passed a resolution a few months ago, basically telling the post office they needed to straighten up and get our mail delivered in a timely manner, which didn't go anywhere other than the fact that the US Postmaster resigned after receiving our letter, so I thought that was interesting. I think it was just a timing thing, but anyway.
Yeah.
But we ran into an issue the other day with, one of the bond payments, that was sent in time. They still haven't received it, we haven't received it back, don't know where it's at.
No, we finally got it
Oh,
back.
did we finally
I got
get it back?
Yeah, just
Okay.
last week. Opened and restapled and sent return to sender, and we have no idea why.
That answers the question, that's just, I've seen where it says pre-order.
It's in bad shape.
But that'll resolve those issues. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries. Next item is to acknowledge receipt of the Office of County Attorney's Annual Settlement Report. You got a copy of that in your packet. Just let the minutes reflect we acknowledge receipt of his annual settlement report as required.
And Judge, if I could say, the
Yes.
court check portion of that, that was not fees that the office collected. That was a pass-through from when we collect the check and then we turn around and write it out to the vendor.
To the vendor. Very good. All right. Next item is board appointment to the Crittenden Livingston Water District. If you'll recall, I think it was July 15th, Tony Travis submitted his resignation from the Crittenden Livingston Water District Board of Directors. And as such, we have a 90-day window to reappoint someone in his place. The reappointment will fill his unexpired term. And that's, of course, tracked by the district, but talked with Andy Hunt about him going on the board to replace Tony. And Andy took a little time, made some phone calls. I don't know if he called and talked to you, Abby, or not. Indicated he
He was
would.
supposed to, but I guess it didn't work out.
Okay. But anyway, after, I think, talking to some of the other board members and looking into things, he felt like it was something he was interested in doing. I think Andy will be a great addition to the board. He's extremely sharp individual, pays obvious attention to financial data and information. Without any opposition, I would recommend that we move to appoint Andy Hunt to replace Tony Travis on the water.
Terry,
Yes.
I would like to point out that because of our close relationship with Farmers Bank, Andy will have to be asked to abstain from voting for any business related to,
Right.
and he also will not be allowed to set our interest rates, which he currently does do. He sets our interest rates.
I'm sorry, you did.
He sets our interest rates for our loans and our bank
Yes,
accounts, so
right.
he also will not be doing that anymore if we
Right.
start it on board.
Well, can he vote? Can he vote on things?
He
He
can
just-
vote on anything that's not related to business between the
Choosing.
district and the bank.
Yeah, choosing their bank account holder, yeah. Which, an extension becomes a payroll, well, Jordan's, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, got a motion by Dave to appoint Andy Hunt to the Water District Board. Did I get a second? Second by Travis. Any other questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, as soon as Daryl gets them written up, things happen. And then you'll be notified PSC, right? All right, next item is the, administrative code amendment. So now we've adopted our administrative code by second reading, we'll now amend it by first reading of this ordinance. It's gone. Anyway, so this particular amendment is to put in place the policy and procedures for the Crittenden County Emergency Management Drone Team, which was formulated by appointments by this body a few months ago. We do have the drone in our possession. That was procured through a grant with the Isle Area Development District through Kentucky Emergency Management Homeland Security. Paid for the drone, 6 batteries, a camera, spotlight, the gambrels to hold the devices. Is Paul still here? Yeah. Was there anything else involved in that, Paul?
The batteries and the charger.
Yeah.
The multiple batteries.
Yeah, 6 batteries and chargers, so, really, really nice set of equipment. But a part of that process is to ensure we have policies and procedures in place, to maintain the adequate training, that is required of our drone pilots, and also to maintain, logs of flight times and missions as required, that will be used to fly that drone. And the applicable forms will record that data. The policy provides for the, logs to be submitted to the fiscal court on the first day of the first month of each quarter. So we'll get a quarterly report showing that they are maintaining their flight hours as required. And it will also show if they have active missions for that quarter. And then it also specifies what the drone can be used for and can't be. Anything else, Paul, with respect to the policy procedure?
It just outlines what, as far as we're not gonna be going out looking for so-and-so's lost dog. You know, it has these mission specific within the county, as far as human life, it has to relate to that.
Outlines the pre-flight and post-flight requirements. The policy was based on a CAECO written template, and then we, of course, we're required to implement local policy on some of the operational aspects. But other than that, obviously this first reading, between now and the second reading, if you want to read through the policies, if you got any more questions, but I think that highlights the basis of the policy. So that being said, first reading of an ordinance amending the Crittenden County Administrative Code, whereas prior ordinances established what is known as Crittenden County Administrative Code, whereas Crittenden County Fiscal Court desires to make revisions to the Administrative Code, and whereas said revisions are marked as Exhibit A, being attached and incorporated by reference. Now therefore be it ordained Fiscal Court, Crittenden County of Crittenden, Commonwealth of Kentucky. The Crittenden County Fiscal Court approves the attached revisions to Crittenden County Administrative Code and are incorporated fully herein, that any section or part of any section or any provision of this ordinance which is declared invalid by a court of appropriate jurisdiction for any reason, such declaration shall not invalidate or adversely affect the remainder of the ordinance. Do I have a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance amendment to include the drone team policy and procedure?
Make a motion, we approve the first reading of administrative code amendment for drone team policy.
Okay, motion by Matt, do I have a second? Second by Chad. Any other questions? Comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next item is, surplus of an ambulance, and you have those details of that? Okay. So this would be the ambulance that was replaced by the most recent one that we purchased. And basically just approving it for surplus. We've still got the other one that we approved for surplus, so hopefully we can get those two ambulances and that one loader, moving forward toward disbursement, on our behalf, but, prior to being able to surplus this particular ambulance, we need to approve that.
Box and all.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be the Med 42, this would be the one that we sent to be repaired, it was gone for nearly 2 years, and come back and it still didn't work.
So when we disperse, or, surplus is, and it's your, I know we do paper and stuff like this, or any way that you can do it, like purple wave or anything.
So, we approved, utilizing US.gov.deals, so that would probably be the avenue we go with on this. I have been contacted by Purple Wave representative regarding getting established to utilize their services. Theirs are a lot like GovDeals.com, I think. GovDeals.com, we basically provide them with pictures and specifics of each piece of equipment. They load it on their website, and then we receive the entire amount paid, right? They don't withhold anything. I think the way they get their money, as you buy it, you pay a premium, and that's how they get paid. Apparently Purple Wave is much the same way, so they've got a 10% buyer premium, but it's charged, whatever somebody bids on the equipment, you get that entire amount, then they pay 10% of that.
I just didn't know if there's a bigger platform, footing for purple wave, get it out there.
Well, that's GovDeals.gov goes nationwide to any governmental entity or quasi-governmental entity, so. Yeah, so. I think we do still have to advertise it in the press, but we have to advertise the website on which you can find that piece of equipment. Do I have a motion then to approve the surplus of the old Med 42 unit?
I make a motion that we surplus, the old Med 42.
Okay. Motion by Matt, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next item is to approve the disbursement of court-ordered fees. Civil action case number 25H00008001. And we have been ordered by the District Court of Crittenden County to pay $350 in attorney fees for a Nelda Gardner who has been declared a poor person by definition of KRS 45319. Nope.
I make a motion to pay the fee.
Motion by Dave, second by Matt. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. All right. Next item. Court ordered disbursement for civil action case number 25H00009001. Crittenden District Court of Crittenden County. Fiscal court is hereby ordered to pay attorney's fees of $350 for Ross Red, who has been declared a poor person under KRS 453.19. Do I have a motion to approve payment of this court-ordered attorney fee?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Travis, do I have a second? Second by Matt. Any questions or comments? So, Kobe, I do have one question here, and I get it, but do they not get appointed a public defender or anything? And I know, it looks like these are both health and family services cases.
They are, Mr. Shaw is the attorney that has requested that. Mr. Shaw, pursuant to the statute, is appointed under the guardianship code. The guardianship code provides that if the court makes the appropriate findings, the court shall order the fiscal court of the county of the resident to pay Mr. Shaw or the appointed attorney's cost. It is statutory.
Okay. Just seems like there's more and more.
To address your question, is that something that a public defender or Department of Public Advocacy would do? It is not. It is outside of their duties.
So in these type cases, could Ross Red or Melvin Gardner procure a public defender instead of a private attorney?
No, sir.
No, okay.
That statute does not provide for that. I can advise the fiscal court that the district court, before entering this order, must make a separate finding that, for example, Ms. Gardner was indigent or unable to pay Mr. Shaw out of her own funds.
Right. One more quick question, is there a reason that that's not looked at as a public defender appointment?
Public defender are for individuals that are charged criminally, and these are private cases. The county attorney's office are involved in them, so to the extent that I can speak in a public forum, these cases are for individuals that have been at this point declared disabled in the sense of unable to care for their own personal and financial resources. No criminal matter at all associated with it.
And the only reason I'm asking is if that's something us and other counties continue to see increase over time, is that something we need to talk to our legislators about trying to?
Certainly, that's all court. These individuals are statutory.
I've been poor my whole life, but I've never got my attorney's paid for. All right, any other questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? That does seem to the president's court order, right? It's probably good. Yeah.
What's that line at?
We may wind up in jail with opposed, yeah. All right, the next item on the agenda is to acknowledge receipt of the Conservation's annual report, Conservation District, and I think everybody got a copy of that in your packet. Appreciate the district providing that for us, and we'll let the minutes reflect we acknowledge receipt of that annual report. Next item is for a request for a net profit refund request. Request for disbursement business refund due to overpayment of occupational and net profit and/or net profit tax. This request is for court approval for the disbursement of funds to W.L. Sturm Electric Incorporated in the amount of $50 due to amounts paid on account in error. Written request was received from W.L. Sturm Electric requesting the 2023 net profit return and 2024 net profit return be credited and dispersed back to them. The amount paid on 24-23 net profits. However, they were never here to do business in our county. It was a clerical error on their end. And so we just questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries. Got no other business today. Travis, do you have anything? Chad? Matt?
I want to thank everybody for coming today.
Dave? Yvette? Terry, Darrell, send anything for you? Kobe, you have anything from the county attorney's office? All right. That being said, I have a motion to adjourn by Matt, second by Dave, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Thank you, everybody.
Perry? Hey, Perry. Thank you. Matt? Thank you. Dave? Thank you. You're buying one.
So the fundraiser that they're working on, do you know or can you clarify the donations that they're planning on doing? Are they planning on giving those to the Paws account, or are they truly going to give them to the animal shelter?
So what's that? What Karen, this area you call her, and I'll have Karen call you today tomorrow. What Karen explained to me was any donation people willing to make there. I'll be honest.